Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, share with a friend. Thank you very much. I was perusing some hockey articles the other day and came across Elliotte Friedman's 32 Thoughts, the article version. And amongst the players and issues mentioned in the article was New Jersey Devils captain Nico Hischier. So I thought I'd share that here and kind of give my reaction to it. Number 10 on the list, also very happy. Devils captain Nico Hischier also used the word excitement to describe New Jersey's moves. Last season was not fun for him or his team. It's always easier to be the underdog. It was definitely a bit overwhelming sometimes last year, but I think a great learning lesson. Every year is new. It's another roller coaster, and you've got to grow as a group the longer the season gets. You've got to stick together because anything is possible. I think Nico speaks for all New Jersey Devils fans when he says the term excitement. The summer has been very exciting. You know, there's some of you that will never be pleased no matter what, but for the majority of people who live in a world of reality, Tom Fitzgerald did the damn thing this summer. He really did. Getting Markstrom in net, whether you think he's over the hill and old and all the people, the detractors that are in that camp, he is a massive, massive upgrade from the goaltending received last season. So Markstrom in net is a huge improvement in and of itself. And then we went out and got two veteran defensemen in Brett Pesce and Brendan Dillon who are going to really help the kids out. Luke Hughes and Shimo Nemitz are not going to be relied on as heavily as they were last year. They're going to be a little more insulated with these guys, and it's going to be great for the team. So when you're talking about a major upgrade in goal, two major upgrades on defense, and then we didn't even get to the forwards. Fitzy said earlier in the summer he thought the forward group was a little too vanilla, and he wanted to get a little heavier, edgier, and more violent, and he did just that. We trade with Vegas to bring in Paul Cotter, who's a little bit of a wild card in my opinion. I honestly believe, he might get a chance on the second line at some points. I really do. But he brings a little feistiness, physicality, as does Stefan Nason. This New Jersey Devils group, on paper, should be much better, much nastier, a better overall team from last year. I just don't see how you wouldn't believe that to be the truth. And I certainly believe that to be the truth. And so Nico is excited about the moves, as we all should be. And then I thought it was interesting how he referenced being the underdog. I do think, not all of it, because a lot of people have been like, oh, the Devils caught people sleeping in 22-23. To some extent, I believe that is true. We kind of came out of nowhere. Teams really weren't expecting us to have that breakout year. And we did catch some teams by surprise in that glorious 22-23 season that saw us set a franchise record with 112 points. But I think that year, kind of going into it, we were the underdog. We've been bad for a while. Teams didn't realize the potential we had with all the weapons we have, especially offensively, and we kind of caught people flat-footed, and the Devils were just blowing through teams. It was an amazing year, and I think the Devils saw a different approach by the opposition for the 23-24 season last year. Because that monster year we had the year before, we weren't catching anybody by surprise anymore. Teams were game planning for the Devils, making adjustments, and the Devils were a measuring stick for a lot of other teams to see kind of where they were in their trajectory as a group. And so we were hunted last year. We were definitely the hunted, no more underdog, and we're not going to be the underdogs going into next year. Now with all these off-season improvements, teams are going to be circling the New Jersey Devils on the calendar again. We're the third most favored team to win the Stanley Cup per Las Vegas odds. And again, that doesn't mean much, but it does mean that the number crunchers and all the smart lines makers, if you will, in Vegas think the Devils are a very good team and have the third best chance to win the Cup. I'm not surprised. I'm really not. The article continues. 2 years ago, when the Devils beat the Rangers in the playoffs, they had a long winning streak in November, so the cushion was created. Nothing like that in 23-24. And then a quote from Nico, "We never got going. Anyone who knows Hischier knows he wears it hard when things go badly. I always want to win," he said. "That's not a secret. I hate losing. As a captain, I want to do more. I need to do more. Was I frustrated? Yes, it just sucks. You obviously want the team to do better. Sometimes I have to go home and say to myself, I gave everything I can. That's it." And I think this gives a little bit of insight into the true competitor that Nico Hischier is. I do believe people have unjustifiably questioned him at times over the last year. And he's a gamer. He wants to win. You could see it after some of the bad losses we had where he just looks very dejected in the locker room. He is a competitor and wants to win all the time, and losing pains him. And I want guys like that. I don't want players on my team that don't really give a shit. They're here for the paycheck. We win, we lose, it's all good. No, Nico's not that guy. He looked absolutely devastated after some of those games. Absolutely devastated. And this little snippet of the article references the crazy winning streak we did have in 22-23, which kind of allowed us to slip a little bit at times. When we went on that crazy long winning streak, when you bank points like that early in the season, it really gives you a nice leeway, if you will, where you don't have to play super consistent at a high level for the rest of the year. You could afford, maybe a 3-game losing streak. You could go through those little lulls when you bank up a lot of points early on, and that's what we did in 22-23. Hopefully, at some point this year, the team goes on a crazy long winning streak early on, and we could bank up some of those points as well to give us a little more flexibility heading into the playoff drive. But that was a crazy winning streak, and it was part of the reason why we were able to finish so strong with 112 points. In 23-24, obviously the Devils never won more than 3 games consecutively, which is a painful stat. Over the course of a whole season to not win more than 3, it's going to be hard to be a playoff team if you can't string together at least one time more than 3 consecutive wins. It's just a very kind of telling thing, in my opinion. The article continues, in the middle of a tough year, a few Devils gave Hischier major credit for never saying no to charitable or important requests. In quotes from Nico, we are in a spot where you do little things that have an impact. Even if it's just a little smile or make a family happy. A small thing we can do could become a big thing for them. It's hard to say no to that. End of quote. And Friedman adds, that's terrific stuff and very true. I liked what New Jersey did. They had a good offseason. And I think this is another thing that people don't understand about Nico Hischier and maybe some other captains in the league as well. There's more to being a captain of an NHL club than what meets the eye and what you see on the ice. I do believe Nico Hischier is one of the nicest guys in hockey. I've seen him interact in different settings with whether it's, the elderly, young kids, the fan base in general. They do not make them any better than Nico Hischier. This is a stand-up guy on and off the ice. He represents the New Jersey Devils incredibly well, and we are blessed to have him as a captain. It is time to put some respect on Nico Hischier's name. A lot of people were used to the fiery captain style of Scott Stevens and players of that ilk, and I'm not going to lie, early on in Nico's captaincy, I did feel a little bit of the same way. I was like, I love Nico, but is he the right guy? I typically like to see the rah-rah emotion 24/7 and the wildness. And then I realized, that's not everybody's style, right? And not everyone goes about their business the same way. Nico Hischier is a different type of leader, different type of captain, and he just leads by example. You don't always see the fiery emotion of him on the ice, but this guy takes a beating night in and night out and takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Nico Hischier is often matched up against some of the best players on the other team, and because of how good he is a target. People do hit him. We've seen this for years. People love to run Nico. Hopefully this year we see some more retaliation and we kind of come together as a unit and become a little bit tougher than we have been in previous years. You guys know I love the tough stuff. But the man is durable. He takes a beating, keeps going. And that's all you could ask for from a captain. Wants to win, goes out there, does it every night, and is one of the best two-way players in the league. Period. Nico is our best defensive forward, a great 200-foot player, and I expect him, I've said this in previous videos, I expect him to be nominated for some Selkies and finally win one in his career. Early on in his career, the award basically defaulted to Patrice Bergeron. It seems like Alexander Barkov of the Panthers is going to be the new guy to kind of have to dethrone for the award because it seems like it's going to default to him every year. But I do think Nico will win one or two before his career's over. And I just felt like I had to talk about this because I have seen a lot of, disparaging or hateful remarks towards Nico Hischier. And I'm here to tell you, we are blessed to have him. Blessed to have him. I've met Nico a bunch of times. Always very generous with his time and kind with the fans. My little nephew met him a little while back and was talking to him for a little bit there. And, Nico took his time with him and always appreciates the love from fans. And not everybody's like that, and they don't make them like that. So I'm just here to say, put some respect on Nico's name. A great captain for our New Jersey Devils. Represents the state well, the organization. He earned that C on his chest, and he has a chance to become, when it's all said and done, the longest tenured captain in New Jersey Devils history, folks. And I fully expect that to happen. You know, assuming he stays healthy and everything, Nico will have worn the C when it's all said and done. Knock on wood. Nico will have worn the C on his New Jersey Devils jersey longer than any captain in Devils history, taking out the current record holder of Scott Stevens, an absolute legend, one of my favorite players of all time. But Nico could become the longest tenured captain in Devils history. That is a fact. Hopefully when it's all said and done, there's a couple cups on his resume. Like I said, some of those individual awards like the Selke would be nice. But Nico Hischier, an integral part of this New Jersey Devils club for the now and for the foreseeable future. Great defensive player. Wants to win more than anything, and that's all you could ask for. Not everyone's captain style is the same, and so embrace it. Nico is the man. We love you, Nico. And I'm expecting a big year out of him. I'll probably be doing some, individual player predictions and things in the next couple weeks leading up to the preseason, but I'm pumped, guys. I am pumped. We are a little less than a month away from preseason, about 3.5 weeks or so. We open up against the Islanders at home. Pumped to just get back at the Rock and see the boys hit the ice. But throw anything out there in the comments. What do you think about Nico? What do you think about this article? Anything Devils hockey, throw it out there in the comments. And lastly, I'll leave you with this, for those that may have forgot. Over the last 3 seasons, Nico has played 222 games, and he has 207 points. 207 points in 222 games. It's about 0.93 points a game. Nearly a point per game player. He's not as flashy as Jack or some of the other guys in the league. But when you look at what this guy does in both ends of the ice, just absolutely responsible, smart player, can play in every scenario, and almost a point per game over the last 3 years. There's not much more you could ask of a guy. I love Nico. I am glad he's our captain. We are blessed, and I'm expecting big things from him next year. Throw anything out there in the comments, Devils Hockey. Love talking to you all. I'll be back soon with a bunch of stuff I'm working on, and that's it, guys. That is it. Nico is the man. Put some respect on his name. And that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.